My name is Kristy. I am affected by OTC deficiency. Um, I'm 42 and from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. So I learned at a very young age. I learned at 6 years old because I am affected. I'm not just a carrier. So I've known since 6 years old. So it's a metabolic disorder. And when you have episodes, you can have lethargy, vomiting, um, poor feeding, seizure. There's a bunch of symptoms.
Mhm.
You can't just look at someone and know that they have it just by looking at them. Well, I didn't really. Um, I kind of learned the hard way. So when I thought I would be normal and had just have a child naturally, like everybody does,
Mhm.
um, with genetic testing and all that sort. I did have a pregnancy that I had to end because he was affected, but it was also I was extremely, extremely ill, and they could not keep me stable, and it was a choice of like staying alive or not. After that, we decided to go with adoption instead. Um, so I have a 2-year-old adopted daughter. And after experiencing both, I would definitely just skip right to adoption again. It's a lot easier. Um, but having the like genetic stuff was really important during my pregnancy because without that information, they couldn't have tested him to see if he was affected. So that actual genetic analysis or whatever it's called, it was really crucial to that. We went with a open adoption, um, and we decided that because my husband's also adopted, so that kind of had a big role in it. We didn't want it to be a secret. Um, so I have a relationship with her birth mom, so she's gonna know where she came from. There's so many different kinds of adoption. There's foster to adopt. So, I mean, you really have to once you decide that you want to do that, like once you like start researching it, you realize how many different types of adoption there are, and there's so many different agencies. We went through an agency directly. We didn't like do anything on our own. So that was a big thing. And I felt more secure in that because they had a reputation. They had been around for 30 years. So they had a reputation of like doing what they say they do. Adoption is very expensive. It's just as expensive as like IVF or any of those other options. And I think that's the biggest misconception is that it's just like you get a baby and it's a long, long process. It's very like they scrutinize your whole life, your home, everything. Like they really, do their background checks. Oh, it's insane, and you have to keep up with it. Like so clearances, things like that. Um, they all have to stay up to date while you're waiting. The process of adoption before being listed was like over a year of like stuff that had to be done. And you kind of have to prove that you're like ready to adopt, financially okay to adopt. Like it really scrutinizes every part of your life. No, not at all. I had to go through with like the pregnancy part of it, I would have been mad if I didn't even try.
Yeah.
Like, I would have regretted it, like, the unknown,
Mhm.
because there are people that have my disorder that have children. It didn't work in my favor for that. Um, but if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have went to adoption, like, so soon.
Yeah.
Um, I just feel like it had to happen that way for me to have the daughter that I have now. I was actually very calm through the process, and I think that's something that you have to remember. Like, you have to almost continue living your life normal with and not, like, hoping, and just continue living normal and not obsessing over that, because it can happen at any time. It literally happens when you least expect it, is when you get a call.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of it for me was, like, not getting my hopes up with every call I got, and just continuing to live my life and not, like, obsess over it.